Hi, Susan Leahy here from RobertsRulesMadeSimple.com, coming to you with another episode of Robert's Rules Revealed. Today, we're going to be talking about minutes and meetings as we talk to professional speaker Rhonda Scharf from On the Right Track Training and Consulting. Now make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single episode of Robert's Rules Revealed. Hi Rhonda, so glad to have you here. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Great. Well, today we're going to be talking about how to make sure that your minutes are legal, and so you're not getting into trouble during your minutes when you're taking those minutes. So, Rhonda, I'm glad you're here to talk to us about that. Let's just jump in. What are some of the biggest legal mistakes that might be made on your minutes?
There's actually a couple of mistakes that people make when it comes to the legalities, and the first one is with the different copies. I mean, in theory, you're supposed to keep the rough copy of your minutes, so all that scribble that you put on the paper. I mean, should you ever be called into court, you have to testify as to what happened, and if you don't have those notes, you don't remember what happened. So I suggest that people keep all versions of their minutes in either the minutes binder or online, and I think that's a big mistake, that people end up keeping sort of the final copy, but they don't keep all the copies up until that, and all of the copies up until the final are very important as far as legalities go, for sure.
Wow. So what you're saying is that if I'm sitting in the meeting and I'm making my notes on my agenda and then maybe using a piece of paper on the side, I've got to keep those as well?
In theory, yeah, you are supposed to. Now, of course, if you've got a lawyer on staff who's talking to you about the Freedom of Information Act, the lawyer's going to tell you to get rid of them. So you're either keeping them deliberately or you're deliberately not keeping them. But once you start to type, so your rough notes, follow your lawyer's instructions. If your lawyer doesn't tell you, you are supposed to keep them. But once you start typing up the different versions, you're supposed to keep all those different versions.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Well, how do you now that's one mistake. What's another mistake that people might make?
Another one is actually on how they get minutes approved and what they think it means to have minutes approved. When you're getting your minutes approved, what it means is you come back to the next meeting, whether that's 30 days away or 7 days away, and the entire group votes on whether they're happy with the representation of the meeting on paper or not. A lot of people actually send it to the chairperson. The chairperson signs their name on the bottom of it and says, that's approved. That's not approved. It means the chairperson likes it, but it's not a legal approval. So you actually have to go back to the next meeting. Everybody has to say, yes, that's an accurate representation of what happened.
Yeah, and I think that's really important that people realize that when it's not just that the chair has signed it, it's that everybody at the meeting has given their consent, their vote, that they're accepting and approving these minutes as the historical document of their organization.
Absolutely.
Right. So wild. So talk to me a little bit more about what you think about, because I get some clients that ask me this question. What do you think about people who are wanting to record their meetings? And I know a lot of people for just kind of, I'm taking notes, it seems like things that are going fast, so I want to record my meetings. What would you say to them?
I really try to steer people away from recording. I mean, as if that meeting wasn't painful enough the first time, do you really want to listen to the second time? And of course, it encourages you to put way too much on paper. It's very easy to transcribe, and then you get into the who said what, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing. So it encourages you to create a document that's more like a transcription, not a minute. So I say don't record it. It's too much work. It's also legality. You have to look at the fact that everybody has to be okay with you recording it. And it creates kind of a crutch that we rely on, in that you're thinking, it's okay, I don't need to pay attention, I'll get the recording. Not so much. So I really encourage people not to go down the recording route.
Yeah, and I'm definitely in the same boat with respects to meetings, and I also think it kind of changes the energy or the people in the room sometimes if they know they're being recorded. Right?
Yeah, they don't necessarily want to go on record.
Right. And not to mention the legal issues that it opens up. So I think that's definitely sound advice. You don't necessarily need to record your minutes. So Rhonda, I want to just thank you for taking the time, because the minutes are a legal document, and we need to make sure that we're doing things to keep us out of any legal or potential legal issues. So again, Rhonda Scharf from On the Right Track Training and Consulting, thank you for your time and your energy.